Hi everyone, it's your girl ʟᴜᴜ, and the topic of today is purging sucks. Let's talk about it. The purpose of my videos has always been to help the collective in some way, to help anyone that is going through the separation, going through soul shock, going through dark night of the soul, and just feeling really lost or feeling alone. And I feel like I need to say that you are not alone. Anyone who's experienced the whole twin flame ascension activation has experienced this and needed to experience this in order to find out who they are, reach inner union, and get in alignment with who it is that they're meant to be and what it is that they're meant to share with the collective. I will be talking about health problems in this video, so I have to do my usual disclaimer, which is if you're suffering from any health ailments, please go and seek professional help. If you have already seek professional help and, the coast is clear, then you can go the holistic approach, which is what I recommend after everything, after everything's okay. So it's during this time that is, the purging occurs during, soul separation, soul shock, dark night of the soul, but it continues on for a couple years. And the reason why that occurs for a couple years is because this, I guess you could say, the reality that you can see me, the reality that you're watching me on your phone, on your computer, is a very slow one. The 3D is not the 5D. In the 5D, they say that you can think about something and it happens. In the 3D, it takes a while for your body to catch up to spiritual changes that happen to, I guess you could say, to the spirit body. So I'm going to give an example where I fully understood what this meant on my own journey. And this was before the whole twin flame thing. This was before the whole awakening. This was actually when I first found my first ever energy healer. It was the first time I ever went to a chakra clearer, energy healer. And I think I bought a few sessions from her. And it was, I guess you could say, it was split up between a couple weeks. It was very expensive per session, but the reason why I had no issue paying was because she was legit. They were very intense. It was the type of energy clearing that after you go through the session, the next day your body is aching because it's just releasing so many blockages and so much tension that, I knew she was legit. I could tell from the beginning. So I remember going to her and seeing her maybe 6 months later because I just wanted to go and see her again. I was really pulled to her again. And she saw me and she's like, wow, you look very different. And I obviously didn't notice because you see yourself every day. But that's basically what I mean about how this reality is a slow one. Even on my own journey, when I started doing these videos and I could feel energy shifts within my body, I remember noticing differences throughout the days, the weeks, the months following starting this channel. I noticed that my diet started to change. I noticed that I was sleeping a lot better. My dreams were a lot clearer. So it does take time. And that's why, the genuine twin flame coaches on this journey that you can find online, there's a lot of amazing coaches, will say it'll take a couple years for you to purge, but it's not going to be as heavy, as intense as the initial separation. I'd say the initial separation, the soul shock, and the initial dark night of the soul is the most difficult it will be on this journey. That's it basically backwards of a video game, right? Like a video game, it goes up to harsher, harsher, harsher. On this journey, it starts with the heavy stuff because it really needs to clear the lower chakras. It really needs to heal those lower level energies that are stuck in the sacral, especially if you're the divine feminine, you're most likely watching this video. It is the sacral that you really need to clear. And that is where you will experience the most, I guess you could say, emotional baggage, old things coming up. If you're a woman, you'll have a lot of cramping that'll feel like menstrual cramps. What else did I experience? Yeah, a lot of cramping feelings, sore stomach feelings. Obviously, like I said, go to the doctor, make sure everything's okay. But I noticed on my own journey, the real intense purging lasted for 3 months for me. And thankfully, it was during a time where I didn't have to worry about anything else except for that. So it made things a lot, I don't want to say it made things simple, but it made things a little more, a little simpler during that time, but it was still very intense. It was still a lot of purging, a lot of old emotions, very, very intense fatigue. Like it was really intense. But I did notice over time, like by the end of the 3 months, it was like I felt like an entirely different person. Even looking at the beginning, after the whole separation versus the end of the first 3-month purging, where it was like very intense, very heavy, I felt so much lighter. I felt like I was in more control over my emotions. I was excited for my day. I was excited for just life again. And that was so beautiful to me. You know, that to me was like the ultimate gift on this journey, was just enjoying life again and seeing light and seeing happiness and just feeling at peace. But I know that I still have some ways to go because it does take time. It'll take a few years. You know, I'd say minimum 1 year, but it'll take a few years to really purge and to really clear that energy, because it's not just this lifetime. It's previous lifetimes. It's your generational curses, your ancestors, whatever it is that they have suffered through, experienced, that has been transmitted to you after, you know, being born. And obviously it's not all technically your fault, but these are just things that you need to heal from and to clear within your bloodline. Another thing, I'll definitely do more videos on generational curses and breaking generational curses, but I mean, if you look at within your own lineage, you know, the people who possibly raised you or your extended family, you'll notice a lot of similar patterns that they share. You know, it could be unhealthy marriages. It could be certain health ailments that are passed down, but there's no real understanding of why they're being passed down. Like I definitely noticed certain patterns within my own family that I was like, whoa, you know what? I definitely don't want to go that route. So I need to clear this within myself. And it does take work. You know, the purging is not just releasing old things. It's also reflecting. Old things come up and you're like, oh, okay. Yeah, I can see why this happened. I can see why this is being brought to light in order for me to understand why it happened, how it happened, and to not make the same mistakes that I did before. So purging, I hate purging. I hate it. That's one of the few things that I hate on this journey, because I mean, like I always say, it's a beautiful journey. It's a strange journey. It's full of beauty, but it's also full of beauty. No, it's full of beauty, but it's also full of a lot of pain that needs to be faced and released. And I know, like I said, I heard some people say, I hate being the divine feminine. I'm happy to be the divine feminine because I believe that we truly hold a lot of the answers. You know, we know what's going on. We're aware that it's, you know, it's just the body purging. It's just releasing. It's not always going to be wonderful. It's not always going to be great. And there's going to be days where you're just like, I don't want to go outside. I don't want to, you know, do whatever. But I will give some advice, which really helped me during this time. And it was definitely to make sure that you're eating as clean as possible. And eating clean is going to be different for you versus what it is for me, and versus for what it is for other people on this journey. Because some people on this journey say, I can't eat meat, I don't want to eat meat, and that's completely fine. It's completely your choice. Actually, no, it's up to spirit. Spirit will be very loud during this time. So during my time, when I was going through like one of the really intense purges, was I could only eat chicken because it was very lean and easy for me to digest, and I had to eat a lot of greens. And those two things, I noticed a huge difference when I didn't stay on track when it came to my diet versus when I did. So pay attention to your body, drink lots of water, you know, figure out other ways that can help you stay in alignment. For me, it was definitely doing spiritual baths, aura cleanses, meditations. Like there was things that I needed to do in order to keep the energy moving. So I think that's it for this video. You are not alone. You know, all this is for your greatest good. After the first initial intense purge, it'll just get easier and easier and easier until you feel as light as a feather, and you feel like you've properly shedded all the disgusting low vibrational energies that you need to get rid of. So I think that's it for this video. I love you guys so much. Take care.